Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike Collicone. I'm the flotilla commander for Tellico Lake Flotilla 12-2. Today I'll be talking about the flotilla public education programs, and hopefully I'll be able to impart some information and suggestions that will help you have a successful PE program in your flotilla. I will start off today by saying that nothing is easy initially, and during your first year, it'll take some work to get things done, but once you get it established, it'll be easy to keep on going every year after that. So it takes a little bit of hard work, but it's certainly worth the effort, because this is the lifeblood of the flotilla. This is how we raise our revenue so that we can have a successful PE program and purchase the equipment that we need and to run our flotilla. First thing I'd like to ask is how many of you have an AOR with waterways? Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, you have a target-rich environment. And so we can take a look at some of the things that you might need to do or look at to start your program off. First thing that we look at in the area of responsibility is knowing your age group, okay, the demographics. So we look at the age group that you have, that you're targeting to teach your classes to. We also look at boating experience, okay. Some of our flotillas have a young group of people that want to take their classes. So, for instance, 12-8 in our division, they cater to 18 to 21-year-olds. My flotilla caters basically to middle-age and retirement community. Boating experience, you want to know how much boating knowledge they have. I will tell you over this past year that the 5 classes that I ran, half of each class came from people that moved from out of state, most of them from California. They never owned a boat. They never had any boating experience, okay, but they came to the Tennessee River and were enamored by it and thought the first thing they want to do is own a boat and do some boating. Thankfully, they took the responsibility to look up the Tennessee laws and come to us for the training that they need. So the second thing that you want to look at is the local resources, okay? Your marinas, okay, your sports shops, boat dealerships, and law enforcement. When we look at these folks, a lot of them, they are our partners in safe boating. At marinas, we get involved with them by putting up our flyers and advertising our classes. Sports shops, we do the same. Boat dealers, we found that some of them will even pay for the courses for people who purchase boats from them. Law enforcement, okay, they've become a valuable partner as well. And recently, I had a sheriff's department call me that had a marine division, but the people that were assigned to that division were born after 1989. So to be in compliance in Tennessee, they had to take a safe boating class. We offered the class to them, and we told them that we would do it as a public service. The only thing that they would be responsible for is the booklets that were basically $7 a person. The last thing that we want to look at is the media outlets, okay? So know what media outlets that you have available to you in your area. We look at local newspapers. We have a community newspaper, a county newspaper, if you will, and they publish once a week, and they mail it or put it into people's mailboxes or paper boxes once a week. They have offered an event page as a public service page, and it's free of charge. The public service radio stations, all right, they have advertised for us free of charge. Next door, how many people are familiar with Next Door? Okay, we've got one person, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as we get through the slide deck. But you also have Facebook, and you also have area organizations and clubs. Okay, a lot of them have electronic bulletin boards in their clubhouses, and we've used them free of charge. We have an organization called Teleco Life in Teleco Village, and we pay them about $100 a year, but they maintain our website, and they will post our VE schedule, our PE schedules, or any events that we're holding in the community. Okay, so those are some of the important aspects that you need to know to start your program. Is your area in need of a safety education course? Okay, so what we did was we collected data. You know, how many casualties did they have? What is the cost of the material damage? What's the number of BUIs? And what are the recorded deaths, if there's any? What were the circumstances? Okay. That information can be used to determine what kind of training classes that you need or safety education courses that you need in your area. But we've also used it to convince the community leaders and businesses that how important it is to have a safe boating education class to avoid the loss of life in the area. One of the things that we have been successful with during Safe Boating Week is that the mayor will offer a proclamation to our flotilla, and our PA officer actually goes out, meets with them, and has a photo op, and it gets published in the local newspaper. And that's what you want, is you want exposure for your flotilla and the services that you offer as well. Okay, this is really key, development of instructors. Without instructors in your flotilla, you're going to have a difficult time scheduling classes and getting people to come in and teach them. As the flotilla commander, when I have a new member come into the flotilla, or even older members that show an interest in becoming an instructor, I get them through the IDC, which is the Instructor Development course. I am a mentor, so I am certified. So what I do is I sign off on their documentation that's included in the IDC packet, and then I will sign it off for final completion and submit it to our IS officer in the division, and he gets it over to the district IS and HR personnel. So this is really important, folks. Get as many members in your flotilla to become instructors. Now, in the division, we have also been willing to help other flotillas that have a small cadre of instructors. So if they need our help, we'll be happy to give it to them. Okay, this becomes a challenge for a lot of people, okay? But what we found is when we're looking for a classroom venue where we can hold these safe boating classes, we look at housing development community centers, a sheriff's office training room, churches, city community centers, or town community centers, schools. And as long as you're flexible with your time and dates, we found them to be very gracious in offering those venues. Next thing that you might want to be looking at is developing a flyer. When you do, what we do is we develop it electronically. We'll put it on a PowerPoint slide, and then we'll also copy it or save it as a PDF. It's easy to disseminate that information electronically on your emails, if you have an email list, or if you want to send it over to one of the community boards, they can copy it and hang it up, or if they have an electronic bulletin board, they can also paste it into that. But what we do is we include the course title and length, location of the classes, date and time they're going to take place, description of the course content, what the cost is, and contact information. One of the other things we've included most recently is that we have told our folks that sign up for the class that they need to pay in advance, and we will give them the material in advance, probably about a week or 2 weeks in advance of the class. That way we know who's coming, who's committed to coming, and if we have any vacancies, we can turn to our excess sheet and sign those people up and give them the opportunity to come in. And we found that that works out very well. All right. And once you have their money, they're pretty much committed. This is what a typical flyer looks like that we've created. We tell them who we are, Tellico Lake Flotilla. This is just an example. We use the 8-hour safe boating course. We tell them where it's going to be, when it's going to be, how much it's going to cost. And we also add in there that if there's couples that want to share the material, it's just at $10 extra to attend the class. We give them a breakdown of what the class entails, and we tell them what the contact information is. Okay, either email or phone number. And I put my phone number up there, and Wally does too, my Vice Flotilla Commander, and we don't mind taking the phone calls from people that are interested. And that's just an option. All right, advertising the class. I'll hit next door last, but you know, we've looked at the local radio stations and the small town newspapers, as I mentioned prior to this. We also begin an email list of marinas, boat dealers, boating equipment stores, and we send them flyers electronically. It saves on travel, and it really is efficient in getting that information out there. And they can either copy it or put it on an electric bulletin board or electronic bulletin board that they have. As far as Nextdoor goes, we found this to be a very efficient way of advertising our class. If you don't know about it, then look it up. It's you can Google it. It is a California outfit that is actually going into the communities throughout America. And if you look it up and see if it affects your area in any way, I would suggest that you sign up for it. It doesn't cost anything. You can upload your flyer on it. You can describe the course that you're offering. And it doesn't cost you a nickel. And they maintain it. So after the date is over of the class, they will remove it from their site for you. I've uploaded the flyer as well as a picture of the eagle. And I always mention that it's from the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. Again, you know, we tout the exposure and what we're offering. To access your materials, okay, the best course of action for us was going into the Coast Guard website. We go under the Auxiliary Association. We click on the Auxiliary Member Store, and public education. And there you'll find materials for the Boat America course, knot tying courses, seamanship, and the PWC operation. This is, again, the Boat America course, and basically when we order a case, it includes 10 test books, final exams, course evaluations, the instructor answer template, and the wallet cards for the students. Each case caters to 10 students, okay? The only thing I will warn you about now is that they're stating that you need to order a month ahead of time because they're using the U.S. Postal Service and they've had problems of getting the mail out. If you want it shipped to you sooner, there's an extra cost and they'll use FedEx. The cost of this particular course, the Boat America books and material, is $70.67. That just raised from $35 about a month ago. And I'm not sure why, but it's still a lot less than the About Boating Safely course that we had, which was $135 for a case of 10. Okay. Okay, so in summary, know your area of responsibility and who you're catering to. Access the data that's important to determine what type of training that you need for the area and for the people that you're instructing. Develop your instructors, okay? That's, again, that's a key piece of advice. Make sure that you can at least get 3 to 4 in your flotilla if you're only going to offer 4 or 5 classes. We offer 9 classes, and sometimes 12, depending on the demand. Luckily, right now, I have 9 instructors, certified instructors. So the more instructors you have, the better it is, because if you're going through a course like Boat America that's 6 chapters, you don't want to be using the same person to be teaching all 6 chapters. You want to be able to give them a variety of instructors. Develop an ad and advertise your flyers, and locate your class material and order a month in advance. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you very much. I can add that in. I don't know if that, there's no sound to it, but just something of interest that I thought was kind of hilarious.
Crazy.
That's what we saw yesterday when we were out here.
How the hell are they swimming that fast? Oh, is he coming up? Look at this shit. Oh, hell yeah. Woohoo. Hey, buddy.
Oh, it's crazy, eh?
I get a video going here, buddy.
Yeah, no shit.